Must be Tuesday and 4 p.m. because it's greatest hits. My name is Free J Boozy, and I'm here taking you through the Hundreds archive every Tuesday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every Tuesday, we'll pull timeless classics out of the vault and tell you the stories behind each of them, as well as talk to the creators and designers that brought them to life. Now, while you watch, you'll be able to chat with other viewers and ask us questions about your favorite classics from the hundreds past. You can also hit the shopping cart tab and purchase these one-of-one pieces to your personal collection. Before we get into this week's haul from the vault, I just wanted to let you know there are still a couple amazing pieces from last week that are still available on Greatest Hits, like the legendary Post and Taylor tee and the Ban This t-shirt flip. Now, in today's episode, we went deep into the vault to pull out some truly iconic finds from the Hundreds archive, from a very, very early collab with Mighty Healthy, legendary New York skate streetwear brand, to a dead stock pair of Reebok pumps. These pieces that will live forever in the Hundreds Hall of Fame. Speaking of Hall of Fame, got my Hundreds Hall of Fame collab tee out. Ho! Talk about improvising. Our guest today is going to be Bobby Hundreds, co-founder and certified DeLorean expert. He's going to be coming in at some point, probably on Bobby time. So there's Eastern Standard Time, there's Midwest time, there's Pacific time. And then in Southern California, there's another region that has Bobby time. And it's very, very specific time zone. Kind of unpredictable also. So let's get into greatest hits. And of course, I am Free J Boozy, your host. Yeah, let's get it, guys. So something very, very exciting. We have had a giveaway on today's episode. So check it. Reebok Pumps, legendary Hundreds collab. We did the pump. A really, really great shoe. What comes to mind for me first with the pumps is actually Austin Powers when he becomes thawed and is trying to immerse himself in the modern 2000s technology. He keeps pumping the shoe and it like explodes in his face. So we were thinking, since we have a Reebok pump for sale, we were going to do a giveaway with this product right now here on Greatest Hits. So this is a dead stock Reebok pump collab tee, part of the limited and editions Hundreds curated collection of clothing. So how we are going to do this is, one, you have to go and follow Greatest Hits. Two, if you have a pair of the Reebok pumps from 2014, right? If you have any pair of the Reebok pumps from 2014 Hundreds collab, DM a picture to the Hundreds Greatest Hits. DM us the picture. First person that DMs us a picture of their pumps will get this shirt shipped to them in a timely manner. Because you know me, Free J Boozy, trustworthy and hardworking guy. That's going to give you, the viewer, the product you deserve. So, what's up, Los? Big Los out there. Yeah, shout out Big Los, man, our wonderful sales director. So yeah, DM the Hundreds Greatest Hits. Right now, we are live on tv.thehundreds.com on Greatest Hits, episode 13. We are going to give away this Reebok classic. And here we have our sales director. No, he's gone. So yeah, no, but seriously, DM is size XL. Show us a pair of your Reebok pumps and provide us with your address. We will send it your way. Okay. So, just a quick recap from a product that's still available from last week. So, every Hundreds Greatest Hits product will come bagged. Will come bagged up, and of course, with your authentic one-of-one Greatest Hits tag. Also, what's cool, this is the Rosewood Collection, size large, Post and Taylor. SFT, which is really cool about this tee, which we kind of went over in last episode, episode 12, and you can always look back at old episodes of Greatest Hits on the Hundreds TV feed. And yeah, so this one, basically, the shop is at the intersection of Taylor and Post. This is based off of the Haight-Ashbury love hippie revolution that was birthed. Uh-oh! Who do we have? Mr. Bobby Hundreds.
Oh, here I am.
Co-founder, chief creative officer, and certified DeLorean expert. Hello, my friend.
Certified DeLorean mechanic.
Bobby, what's up with the sweatpants, man? Them shits
Okay,
are so
well
fire.
these
What's going on
are
with the
these are
sweats?
actually dropping. If you're watching this today, as in right now, as in Tuesday, I believe.
It is Tuesday, Bob.
We are releasing this collection. It's very limited casual that we did with the LA 2028 Olympics. These are the sweatpants from the collection. Up close, you can see. But every artist, athlete, Olympian that contributed to this program got to design their own and this was mine. And we were one of the only, aside from Nike and Ralph Lauren, we were one of the only brands that was allowed to collaborate on actual merchandise. So that's available tonight, 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, here on the Hundreds TV, tv.thehundreds.com.
And then I heard you talking to one of our design members, David Rivera. You were saying how it really brings you back to like 80s apparel.
Yeah.
With the way the color hits with the white sweatpant. It's like a very sort of.
Exactly. Like the full colored rings that you can see, the Olympic rings on white sweats, like, you know, the 1984 Olympics, I was actually around from I was 4 years old. I don't remember much from those games outside of the mascot, who was Sam the Eagle. He was drawn by a Disney artist, and we ended up parodying Sam the mascot, Sam the Eagle, years later on the Hundreds t-shirts. And then that just kind of like, there was part of my obsession with cartoon mascots.
Yeah. And you know what? I actually think we're going to get one of our producers to go and grab that State of America tee that is in Chad's cubicle.
There you go.
All right, so I'm just recapping the viewers of what we had last week available, what's still left over.
Yep.
This is one of them.
All right, yes. So this is a shirt. It's a ripoff of Ban This. Ban This was a Powell Peralta Bones Brigade skate video in the 80s. And it says followers of the old school, which was one of our earlier taglines. It was kind of a flip on leaders of the new school. And just to note that we were really inspired by the past and wanted to educate and reference about what happened in the past as far as culture went.
Awesome. And now we have that State of America tee that you were just talking about.
Yep, this is that State of America. This is a flip off that Sam the Eagle. Sam the Eagle, again, was the 1984 LA Olympics mascot, and this is ours. I flipped it to be this LA style cartoon character that was kind of a commentary on how we were conducting ourselves as a nation, internationally, especially foreign relations wise. At the bottom it says "Take by Force," but this is a classic The Hundreds t-shirt. Says "State of America" on the front there. All right.
Okay, so I just got it. All right, so Steve Nazar, right?
Yes.
So we featured
Steve
Nazar. We featured this graphic last episode, right?
Yep.
And then me and Andrew, our wonderful editorial director and main producer of tv.thehundreds.com, we were looking at this, and these are parodies of employees.
Yes,
and other team members.
They are.
And so this is apparently the John Shanasafar.
Yeah.
So my question for you, Bobby, is when was John Shanasafar in 1940s Cholo? Like, this is like the craziest, like,
yeah,
it's so good.
Steve Nazar, yes, he did all the TNC Surf graphics in the 80s. TNC Surf was a big brand. There was no streetwear the way that we know it today. There was more surf brands back then. TNC was famous for doing these iconic cartoon characters. So we asked him to do our own version of these cartoon characters that embodied different members of the crew. And this was his interpretation of, we were all depicted as different animals. I asked him to do John as a rhino and as kind of like a cholo rhino. And John, that was just the way he grew up. Those were all his friends. That was his community. And so he carried himself like a cholo. And that's where the rhino came from. Yeah. And that's a really classic shirt. I don't even remember what this was called.
So this is from 2009.
Yeah.
El Rhino Loco. Yes,
Rhino.
El
Rhino Loco
t-shirt. So this is for sale. And if you're just joining us, I'm here with Bobby Hundreds. I am PJ Boozy. You were tuned into episode 13 of Greatest Hits. We are here every Tuesday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, going through our live shopping channel where Every Tuesday, we drop a new batch of great hundreds pieces from the hundreds past. And this is for sale now. If you click the shopping cart tab, you can check our drop for today's episode. So Bobby, 13 episodes.
13 episodes. Lucky number 13.
You know,
it's pretty major.
We've been chugging along here on Greatest Hits.
Have you hosted every single one?
Yeah.
Were you ever absent?
No, I have perfect attendance, Bobby.
Wow.
Katz.
We love it.
Katz is gone. All right. So I was gonna go through the DeLorean one, but we actually have
This is gone?
this is gone, Bob. It's live shopping.
Ah.
And so
Did you already describe this shirt?
No, we were about to go over it right now.
Okay, so
this is Meg Ryan
yes,
from
an iconic unlicensed image that we did with Katz Deli out in New York. If you're from the East Coast, if you're from New York, I don't have to explain Katz's to you. If you're more from the West Coast like we are, maybe I need to educate you all a little bit. There's a really iconic deli in Manhattan called Katz's Deli. It's 100 years old. It's actually 100 years plus. But we did a collaboration for their 100-year anniversary, the Hundreds and Katz's, a few years ago. And we did it a few years ago, 100-year anniversary project with Katz's Deli. We had to basically use this graphic because this came from When Harry Met Sally. When Harry Met Sally was a really famous romantic comedy starring Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan. And there's a scene, the most iconic moment of the film is they have this scene in the middle of Katz's diner. She basically mimics having a fake orgasm because she's trying to convince Billy Crystal that women are always faking their orgasms. And he's just like, there's no way. He's like, I know the difference between what's real and what's fake. She gives a pretty convincing orgasm sitting there at the deli. And so when you go visit that deli, there's actually a little sign above that says, this is where Harry Met Sally, and right above the seat that they sat in, so you can actually sit there. So when we were doing a Katz's Deli collaboration, we had to memorialize that moment.
We actually have that scene queued up. A new little technical advancement for episode 13 of Greatest Hits. We have video content.
Here we go. Wow.
Straight from the internet browser.
Oh, wow. We are very high tech here.
It's playing through their side.
Is it? It's fine.
Yeah, I think what was the movie with Denzel Washington and Meg Ryan? I also have a little spiel about the American Dream and Katz Deli. Talk about after.
Denzel and Meg Ryan?
Yeah, Meg Ryan is like a lieutenant, and she's in Desert Storm, and her soldiers kill her, and then Denzel's the investigator.
Oh,
That movie's so
wait, not Proof of Life. Dude, Meg Ryan was on top of her game at this moment in Hollywood. She was one of the highest paid actors. She was making like 20 mil a movie. Now she's done. Dunzo.
All right, we are back. That was the scene we were just referring to from Along Came Polly, right? When Harry Met Sally. Honestly,
Along Came Polly.
Well, honestly, whenever I think of a rom-com, Ben Stiller is like top of mind.
But of all the Ben Stiller rom-coms, you said Along Came Polly? That's the Jennifer Aniston one, right?
I like Jennifer Aniston. What do you want
Meet
from
the
me?
Parents? Meet the Parents!
All right, so this piece has sold, but you can check out the other pieces we have available on the shopping cart tab. So we're gonna go retire this to its new home. Thank you for all the viewers, anybody who shops. We're here every Tuesday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, live shopping network here on Greatest Hits here with Bobby Hundreds. Okay, so it's like a fucking teleprompter, right? All right, so the DeLorean, Bob.
Yes.
Okay, so first of all, how does a DeLorean drive?
The
I've never
DeLorean is not the smoothest drive.
Okay.
It's a very heavy car. It's all made of stainless steel. It's essentially like you're whipping around a refrigerator on the highway. The insides of it are Renault, which is basically it's kind of like a Volvo engine setup, but like low grade. And just the look, John DeLorean was the consummate car designer. He designed the Pontiac GTO, a lot of the classic muscle cars that are associated with American car culture. But he was not as technically proficient of an engineer as far as like what the insides, the guts of the car look like. He was just more concerned with the aesthetic beauty of it all. And so it was when he decided to leave the other car companies and start his own car company, everyone kind of assumed that it was going to look beautiful, but it might not drive the best. And that's pretty much what eventually ended up happening.
Okay.
You know, it wasn't the best car. You know, it just looked really sick. And I've just always loved that narrative about John. You know, that was kind of his life. He was the ultimate American playboy. You know, he dated Christine Ferrara. They were always at Studio 76, 53, 54. Sorry, oh my God.
Out of all the numbers,
Studio 54, all the numbers. I said 76 like it was a Unical gas station.
Yeah.
That's not where they were. They were at Studio 54. And anyways, so that was his life. It was like on top, it looked gorgeous. Underneath, it was not well put together. And that's DeLorean.
Okay, so a couple of things that really stand out about this official DeLorean
Yes.
collab T-shirt. One, is it on BBS's?
On
Like what?
yeah, actually yes,
right?
Ish.
Like
so.
So that shit is slammed down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was our version of car culture, airbrushed swap meet style lowrider T-shirt, but with a DeLorean instead of what you would typically expect a lowrider to be.
And so I don't know if you know this, but there really aren't swap meets like that on the East Coast.
Oh,
On
really?
the East Coast.
That's like a very West Coast thing?
No, yeah, absolutely not. So when I came here, I realized like flea markets and swap meets were just like so inherent in the culture.
Yeah.
The first time I saw those airbrush stands, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it clicked to me. That was like the cultural reference point for like airbrush
Yes.
graphic design.
Yep. Yep.
And so, you know, it's really cool because you are DeLorean enthusiast. You have owned DeLoreans in your lifetime, right? You discovered it through Back to the Future, and your love.
I did.
Back to the Future is your favorite movie.
I did. Yes.
And actually, if you stay tuned for next week, we have a very, very huge announcement that is going to key in some other related Back to the Future stuff. So
Okay.
Be on the lookout of that. Family Style Festival. We'll have a big announcement next week. Keep your ears peeled. Anyways, back to the shirt. So very classic LA. You take your love for DeLorean and you take Los Angeles street culture and generally just kind of like street art culture, right?
Yep.
Because this is a very like sort of swap meet inspired. You go get your favorite design. You get yourself airborne or memorial tee. You get yourself.
Yep.
You know, there's all sorts of stuff you can really do really cool with airbrush. Also, there's a couple. One of my favorite artists, Mario Ayala.
Yep, Mario. Yeah, he does a lot of work like this.
Amazing airbrush.
Yeah.
So he's kind of one of those guys that is so heavily rooted in like Los Angeles culture that now he is kind of taking airbrush and putting it on like a fine art sort of level.
Right.
So yeah. So what was it like? So when you guys did the collab with DeLorean, is that where that photo shoot came from? Like remember when you guys came and shot? You guys went and shot at the DeLorean factory.
Yes.
Was that for this or was that for Back to the Future?
That was for DeLorean.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, before we ever did a Back to the Future collaboration, which we've done two now, we're about to install a third. We did it. There's 3 movies. We did a DeLorean collaboration, and that was, well, I don't know, 10 years ago now? 09. So more than 10 years ago, we did a official DeLorean collaboration. My friend Cameron, his family, the Wynn family, they ended up taking over DeLorean. They own all the rights to it, so it aligned really nicely. It's also my way to kind of grease the wheels so that, no pun intended, for me to own an actual DeLorean. Like we actually I got that working.
Was that in the deal points, Bobby?
It kind of was, like
yeah.
in a weird way. It kind of was, but yeah, I got to fly down to Texas to Humble, Texas. It's 30 minutes outside of Houston. It's where the central North American DeLorean car dealership, actually the global headquarters is. And I went down there and did a photo shoot for everything, and got to hang out with the actual crew who works on the cars every day. And just it was an excuse also just to hang out in Houston for a week. But in order to do this right, we had to work with DeLorean official. We ended up making the Hundreds DeLorean itself, which is also iconic. It was probably one of the first times that a streetwear brand had made a car. And that car, as far as I know, still exists. It's at the DeLorean headquarters in Texas. We had offers at the time, interest from Kid Cudi and Kanye. They were both poking around trying to buy it, but eventually it went back to the dealership. The thing is with DeLoreans, everyone always says they want one until the time comes down to actually get it, and then they're like, I'm not getting one of these cars. So it's rare when someone actually pulls the trigger and goes through with it. It's always this like great idea in their head, and then they get really up close to it and they're like, I'm not gonna do that. That sounds crazy.
And it's so funny that like you were saying it's probably the first time a streetwear company has ever really done something with the automobile.
Yeah.
Because now if you go to Complex Con, it's just like a sea of like luxury cars with decals of said brand on them everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny, like that's like the root of it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go ahead and give you a detail shot. (2009 to 13), the Hundreds tag. Cool. So if you're just joining us, you're tuning into episode 13 of Greatest Hits. I'm here with Bobby Hundreds. This is a live shopping network. So all of the pieces we are currently covering on the show are available now on the shopping cart tab. You can also hit the chat tab and ask us if you have any questions about anything. We have myself, who isn't Bobby Hundreds, but we also have Bobby Hundreds. So,
yeah, today I'm here.
Today he's here.
I'm also wearing this mask. These are our new masks that we are going to be making soon, that we're going to be releasing soon. They are doing such a good job of blocking out any air that I am low-key passing out as I'm doing this. But that's what it looks like if you see it right there. All right. We lost Justin. Justin's gone. Invisible Justin. How many more of these do we have before I literally pass out here on the couch?
So hot here, right? See, there's no sense vision on the TV. No, we got a few more. So I want to go over the Mighty Healthy tee with you.
Okay, cool.
Actually, you know what, Bob? Let's just go ahead and do the Halo piece.
Halo piece, let's go.
Boom!
Whoa, Reebok pumps.
Okay, so the thing that I really, really love about this collab is one, like your attention to the story, right?
Yep.
So the other thing is the box, Bob. So I want you to start with the box.
Okay.
Why is this the packaging?
This is this was the original packaging that these shoes came in.
Yeah.
So the Reebok pump was a hardcore competitor. It's not the same anymore in 2020, but in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, Nike Air was, obviously dominant. Adidas was not as much of a competitor as Reebok was, especially when Reebok came out with the pump. It was their answer to Nike Air. And they started recruiting a lot of the top basketball players, a lot of other athletes. Michael Chang, who was basically Reebok's response to Nike's Andre Agassi, which is strange. He was like a Chinese American church boy, but apparently he, for whatever reason, seemed to resonate. He resonated with me, but Michael Chang had some of the coolest pumps, these tennis pumps where the ball was furry like a tennis ball. So people really love that. So anytime there was a different iteration of a Reebok pump back then, a different colored pump or just like a different silhouette, it was a big deal because for the longest time, the major Reebok pump, like the prime Reebok pump, was like the higher profile David Robinson, like Dominique Wilkins type of shoe. And then there started to be like newer cuts, lower cuts. This was a mid version of the Reebok pump, and then it was a cross trainer. This was always my favorite silhouette of the Reebok pump.
The original colorway of it was black with aqua blue and white trim. And when we had the opportunity to make a Reebok pump ourselves, I said, I want to make that trainer because that was the one I always wanted, and my parents never got me.
And so it's funny, it's like your whole childhood relationship with the Reebok pump. It's kind of all filmed in that commercial you guys did.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Collab. We actually had that commercial queued up, but we're going to go ahead and talk about this a little more with Bobby Hundreds before he has to continue with his very, very busy schedule.
Very busy day.
Taking over the world.
This shoe is probably the highlight of this shoe is that we were able to actually manipulate the pump to resemble our solid bomb. You know, so we actually had to open a mold to do that. Ooh, can we get that right there? There we go. So we actually had to open up a mold to make this. That's my favorite part of the entire collaboration is that we got to do that. And when they greenlit that, we knew that it was like an official serious collaboration. But Reebok pumps don't hold the same place in the athletic footwear market that they did back then. But for real sneaker enthusiasts, like this really meant something special. So the Hundreds Reebok pumps.
Yeah, these are for sale now. Size 7 on the Hundreds greatest hits. And yeah, this is so was this one of the first major shoe company collabs you guys did? Because I know you guys had a huge footwear department for a really long time.
We did. We had, and I think, okay, so during the years that we made the Hundreds footwear, we had our own shoe line. We got no shoe collabs because we were perceived as a competitor, which is very common. And part of the decision to stop making our own the Hundreds footwear was to open up collaborations. And that might have been one of the first ones after we opened it up. Our very first shoe collaboration, I think, was Gravis, which was more of a Japanese-based luggage company that did footwear. And then after that, I would say it was S, the skateboard shoes.
You guys did an S shoe?
We did S. We actually made, and it came as a pack. It was a dual pack. And we did it in conjunction with Livestock out of Canada. And so it was like a set that came together. It was called a passport set. It was a black pair and a multicolored pair, which is very the Hundreds. And then after that, I'm sure there were a few others, but that was probably, yeah, like after we stopped doing our own footwear, I believe we came back to that.
Cool. So this piece and a bunch of other really great pieces are for sale on Greatest Hits episode 13 right now on the shopping cart tab. Bobby, I want to thank you for stopping by the show today.
Thank you, everyone.
We appreciate your presence.
I appreciate you having me. I'm going to just go right back. Mike is pointing.
No,
Mike is pointing.
Mike
looks like he's in pain.
I
wish I could show everyone how Mike looks right now. He looks like he was in pain.
They want to talk about it.
Oh, they want to talk about this.
They want to talk about
Is this up for sale right now?
So this is for sale. Mighty Healthy.
This is a super, super special, very rare t-shirt. And I can't believe it's brand new. It looks like it's never been worn.
I don't think it's been worn. I think it came right
it's
out of
extra large. And the reason why this is so special, and the reason I can never find this anywhere, you can't even really find reference of it online. It is a 3-way collaboration between streetwear brands that were really big and prominent in the mid to late 2000s, really leading the pack. Us, the Hundreds, Mishka, and the MH. Right there, it stands for Mighty Healthy. So the Hundreds, this is just such a super old logo of ours. Mishka, the bear, and Mighty Healthy. Now, Mishka and Mighty Healthy were from our class of streetwear brands.
So Mighty Healthy was
when we were all starting together.
Yeah, like a year after you guys. You were 03, they were 04.
Maybe. I mean, it was all pretty much around the same time. Is that right? It could be right.
I mean, according to the internet of the prep.
According to the internet, yeah.
This episode, yeah.
When we were starting out, there was, nowadays everyone has a streetwear brand. Back then, nobody had one. So we were doing our thing and we were like, hey, there's another couple of guys out in New York that are doing a similar thing out of New York. There was literally like 2 of us in the country. Right? Like 2 brands. And so we're like, hey, we should reach out to them and just say hi. So we befriended the guys at Mishka. At the time, it was Greg and Mike. And then through them, they were also like, there's another brand, Mighty Healthy. I don't know if it came via them, but we also became aware of, there's another brand with two guys, Ray and Dennis, and they had started a brand called Mighty Healthy. And so the three brands, we really became friends. You know, we were all kind of helping out each other. And at some point we said, why don't we do a collaboration together? This is just super rare. I also remember at the time that as far as the layout was concerned, it was not how I wanted it to be. I wanted these graphics to be a lot bigger. They were supposed to like take over the whole shirt on both sides, but for whatever reasons, this was like as big as we could go. But people didn't know that. They just assumed that the design was meant to look that way. And, you know, there was 2 or 3 colorways of this shirt, but I haven't seen one since then. This is super early, like 2005.
And so, just a little fun fact: Mighty Healthy is extremely New York, right? And I don't know if you know this, but I used to work at Frank 151.
Yes, I did know that.
So,
yeah.
when I was working there with Bryce, our current marketing director and coordinator, there was the Mighty Healthy issue that had a bunch of your like OG photographs that you did from around New York and LA in terms of skateboarding, like young Keith Huffnagel, a bunch of other guys you photographed.
Yes.
And yeah, so but you don't really do a lot of skate stuff.
No, we didn't. You know, the streetwear brands at that time were almost responding to what skateboarding was. Like skateboarding is always cool. It's always been cool. But at that time, skateboarding clothes were synonymous with huge mall-streamed corporate clothing companies like DC. Element. Yeah, there wasn't a sense of, oh, it's a skateboarding company, like they're independent and artsy. And so the brands that started in the wake of that, like ours, Mighty Healthy, Mishka, we looked at it like, we're not going to pigeonhole ourselves as a skate brand or as an urban brand, quote unquote urban brand, which was code for, you know, basically black culture. We just wanted to say, like, we're not a part of any of these. We are all encompassing. We're driven by artists. We're independent. We're not corporate or commercial. And so that's why, even though we and Mighty Healthy especially had skateboard roots and very well could have been a skateboarding brand, we didn't want to be relegated or classified as skate, because that automatically meant, okay, so you're following in the footsteps of DC. And we're like, no, we're following in the footsteps of Sir or A-Life or a Bathing Ape. Like, that's who we're following in the footsteps. Yes, there are inspiration, there's roots in skateboarding and skate culture, but we're not a skate brand. And we all still adhere to that, you know, all the way through. Huff was probably one of the only brands that started off being more streetwear minded, and then halfway through their trajectory said, you know, we're going to commit to being a real skate brand. And but we never did that. We had skate teams and we worked a lot on skateboarding, and there was a big chunk of years where most of our growth was fueled by being sold in independent skate stores. But all along the way, we wanted it to be very clear that we were not a skate brand, and we still aren't.
So this is one of the few skate brand collabs that the Hundreds has done. Other notables, Grizzly, etc.
Yeah.
In the future. And so this is for sale now on episode 13 of Greatest Hits.
That's a really special one.
So this is a really special tee.
Very
also
rare.
has very, very old tag, the bomb with the X.
That's right. Extra X large.
So this and many other good pieces are for sale right now on the shopping cart tab of Greatest Hits. You can catch us here every single Tuesday, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. I am Free J Boozy. Thank you very much, Bobby Hundreds, for joining us today.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for every person that has either copped a piece or tuned in to any of our one of 13 episodes. And of course, like always, you can catch us here next Tuesday. Go ahead and check out the TV station, hit the app, hit the online store to get your pieces on any of these Greatest Hits pieces you saw featured on today's show. And as always, we'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everyone.